So my feed is like overpopulated with a bunch of conservative political shit right now. I don't know why. I've been made aware of how the right really thinks a lot over the last few days. And it just reinforces this idea for me about black people really needing to love themselves and love being our revolution, because you can't argue with an idiot. These people are idiots. These people are not intelligent. This isn't a product of like literature, scholarship, or research. This is a product of idiocracy. These people are idiots. Worse than that, they believe their own bullshit and they're trying to find ways to intellectualize their racism. They're trying to find ways to intellectualize their hatred for black people, their support of Christian nationalism and white supremacy, and they're trying to find ways to intellectualize it. But the thing is, they're fucking idiots. We can't do nothing with idiots. And the best way you can protect yourself is to not stress yourself about the thoughts of a fucking idiot. They're idiots. I cannot stress it enough. You love yourself, you support yourself, you love your people, you support your people, you back your people, you turn towards your people, you turn your face towards black people, you turn your heart, you posture your heart towards black people. And understand what our differences is, and understand that 9 times out of 10, if you have an issue within the gender dynamics of black people, you can go to Justin Scott's page and find very logical and rational explanations of how we got here, because he, like me, wants to get to the true nature and the root causes of things. We'll be going live soon. These people are idiots. You cannot argue with an idiot. You cannot have any type of intellectual discussion, breakthrough, change in perspective with an idiot. Because at the core of that idiocracy is racism and white supremacy. They're not Christian nationalists. They're using God to justify racism and white supremacy because they don't have anything literature or scholarship wise that will justify it. So they have to use God because God is a veil for idiocracy. When logic, good perspective, scholarship, intelligence is present.
You don't want to get rid of DEI because the wrong people were getting hired. They want to get rid of DEI because they weren't getting hired. Can you imagine Pete showing up for an interview to become the Secretary of Defense compared to the person who was already in the spot? Like, can you imagine the woman who is now currently the Secretary of Education? She showed up at the interview. They want to get rid of DEI because DEI brought in a whole bunch of resumes they could not compete with. So more talented people were coming from different backgrounds. They knew different languages. They had, world travel experience. They had multiple certificates and accolades compared to them who were just used to getting the job because they know somebody. How do you think all of Trump's cabinet got there? They knew him from Fox. Do you understand? They lied to you about what DEI was because they stopped qualifying for these positions because they weren't good enough. And once you get rid of the DEI mandates, you can no longer track it. DEI meant, why didn't this qualified person get the position compared to the Pete's of the world? Because according to their resumes, they should be in that position. Why did Pete get it? Oh, because he knows somebody? Discrimination lawsuit. Remember when Michelle and Barack Obama said, we made it all the way to these rooms and we realized They're not better than us. They just closed the door to others. That's why they want to get rid of DEI. Because they just want to close the door to others so they don't see how whack they are and how unqualified they are. That's it.
Because you can't argue with an idiot. These people are idiots. These people are not intelligent.
Before I started doing these debates, I honestly thought that people were significantly more intelligent. Like, I thought like the average American was significantly more knowledgeable. But now I've learned that that is just not true at all.
I don't think there's anything factually wrong with me being understanding of the fact that another person doesn't have the mental capacity to understand the concepts they're trying to have a conversation with me about, and therefore are choosing to opt out of even acknowledging their points in the conversation. That's like having a conversation with a 9-year-old about shit that they won't learn until they're in 7th grade. They literally functionally don't have the ability to have...
That it's not about not knowing something. It's about your refusal to learn. I don't think people understand that when it comes to these conversations.
Basically, the moral of the story is at some point the line has to be drawn and people have to acknowledge the actual gap in comprehension and the ability for any conversations to be had. I made that decision at the beginning of Black History Month, and I talked to my followers out here. I do appreciate the people who follow me. Shout out to Deontay, we're mutuals, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Keith, too. But honestly, that's why I be wanting to go on these conversations and talk to these people, because I'm like, it feels weird sometimes to be able to sit on the outside, as Deontay does now on Grits and Eggs, and look at these things through what you assume is the lens of normalcy, but then to look out and realize, like, actually, we should have been paying more attention to the fact that being uninformed is much easier. And not only that, it is happening at a rate that we just literally didn't acknowledge. Functionally, a lot of the people in this country are quite literally ill-equipped to have any conversation of any merit. It is what it is. We need to operate now with the people who have that. And I always tell people, at some point, millennials, like folks my age, Deontay, we have to just run for office. I understand it's a money game, but that's what's going to have to happen. We can't leave it to Gen Z and people above. Nah, like we going to have to run for office. Somebody with common sense going to have to somehow get far enough.